What's going on? It's Justeeni here. You guys might know, or maybe you don't know. You know now. I've been training for the World Championships for the past, ever since it was announced. Just been grinding a bunch of 24-hour games on lakes, and yeah, I'm gonna show you guys some of those games. I'm just gonna be showing games against normal tribes and only the ones that were actually interesting. I do have one game that I'm not showing. It was a game that I lost actually. That will be a future video. I think it's one game that deserves a video all on its own. The rest of these will be maybe not quite as interesting because I want to fit multiple games to really show you what actually makes Zebasi like a potential contender for winning the World Championship, because Zebasi has a lot of strengths and there's a lot of obvious ones. I mean, construction is right there. That's a pretty obvious strength. But what else do they have going for them? And this is going to be kind of what I'm showing. So yeah, we're going to be going through this and seeing what actually makes Zebasi so good, because you can't always go construction. And that's the thing, is Polytopia is a game where you can't always do what you want, but I think this is where Zebasi shines. I mean, we've got a game against Imperius here. Get some meeting started, see what's going on. In the early game, Explorer kind of meanders, but it does get the lighthouse. Super nice with Zebasi. Zebasi loves lighthouses, because if you just grab one that's a level 3 capital, no other tribe is that consistent with getting those level 3s, except for like Chinchi. But yeah, I'm just able to upgrade. Again, not really going for construction, just, you know, taking advantage of the lake. There's not really much that can be used with land, mostly a choke point, but I don't have ranged units, so I'm just going to go around. Kind of meandering, exploring a bit, forcing the warrior back. That kind of stuff. They kill my raft, it's fine. Maybe I could have not let it die, but I liked getting the vision. But now I've got riding, trying to expand a bit. Take some ruins, expand maybe to the southern village. Expanding up north. So again, not even going for construction at all actually. Like normally construction trade very strong for Zebasi. It's probably one of the best ways to play them, but I'm just not doing that here. Get a pop ruin. And yeah, really weird bridge. I thought there was gonna be like something here, and there's a land connection anyway, so yeah. But I get this explored here, so it's all fine. Still no I've got yet, but I will be able to get it soon. And yeah, opponent gets their giant. They've got Portland Capital. They've got their giants going. I think I could have gotten my giant sooner, but I just didn't because I'm bad at the game, I guess. I need to kind of clean up my gameplay, you know. These are all 24-hour games. World Championship games are going to be live games. I find I'm better at focusing with those at least, but I should just be better at focusing in general. But I've got the double giant on my capital. Going to be able to use a lot of ports in the city. Get the Explorer. Now, granting me Eye of God. So I've just got the monument. And with my resources being really nice, I'm just going to be able to pump a lot of giants. And this is the thing. No construction needed, by the way. Just having plenty of farms naturally means with farming and fishing and roads. That's all I need for ecotechs. Not a single other tier 1 tech. And I'm just going to be able to like really focus in on that. And just get all that eco. Another giant. Another giant. And get this upgrade here. Not really very reliant on monuments, you can notice. Like I have Grand Bazaar, Park of Fortune, but I didn't even need Park of Fortune here. It was just to be faster, not to get more giants. And that's really nice actually, being able to use your monuments for speed as opposed to like, there's all sorts of like little intricacies that I think people don't really consider with really turn 0 tribes in general, but I think Zebasi especially can take advantage of a lot of those. Because with like Imperius, you rely on a lot of those intricacies, but Zebasi just has the nice and simple construction as well. We're not seeing it this game, of course, but you might see it in some games, how that kind of works. A lot of my games were actually pretty boring. I just rush construction, get markets, and win. I'm not going to be showing games that end like that because those are boring and you kind of know how that plays. This is showing what I think is actually important to take note of with Zebasi. They're getting their giants here defending, but yeah, I've just got more giants without even needing construction. And now I've got sailing, sieging here, taking over the water, doing really well. Zebasi's navy is pretty underrated, honestly. Same with like Chinchi, their navies are basically good for the same reason. But I just have a crushing position at this point, getting the city wall, and there's not really much the opponent can do at this point. So that's the first of these games, but I'll go ahead and cut to another one. Alright, another game, this time against Chinchi, and if you guys remember how things went last year, my record against Chinchi is not so great, but this time, things might be a little different. I mean, this is against a random, not one of the best Chinchi players in the world, but you'll see my playstyle be hopefully a little bit better. See, lots of mountains, I go for Org, you know, because I don't have a lot of farms. So again, forced to kind of switch up. No simple construction rush this time, once again. So how do I make do with this? Well, I mean, I see this village that I can take. And, well, I decide to kind of set a trap here. Reason why I don't move this warrior up is because if I move it, this warrior can see it. So they just won't move on the village. And I want them to move on the village. It's right next to their capital. Why wouldn't they move on it? They can see my terrain, the city I just captured there, so they should be a bit wary at least, but they don't. So I just capitalize on that. But now I go climbing and you see all these mines, and again, you don't always have to default to construction as Zebasi. Suddenly construction doesn't look good at all. Mining is miles better. And I'm going to be able to get smithery, quite good forges actually. Chinchi's going to be scary with their giants, but I'm going to be ready for it. Like, boom, turn 6 giant. Like, normally very, very problematic, but this time I'm just ready. Going to be able to get some nice upgrades. Smithery soon. And yeah, a lot different than last time with going like riding and fishing. In fact, I'm getting neither of those this time. Getting lighthouse here. Doing all fine and dandy. Get the explorer because it is actually funneled to get that northern lighthouse, which is really the only one that I'm struggling to get here. And it's going to allow me to, after just one more lighthouse, get that giant on my capital. Do some nice little combat here. And yeah, they're advancing. Very scary, but I am prepared. I decide to place a farm. I do farm instead of the fruit, because if I want to get the level 3 city, I will want to use only one fruit and a farm. Just kind of a nice trick with farming tribes in general. Go for the push, and got my units suspiciously close. Yeah, they don't siege. There was a possibility of a Justeeni. Not guaranteed as far as I'm aware, but it is possible, and I can manipulate where I want the giant to push, because if we go back, actually. Because the Justeeni isn't guaranteed. Like, I can go here, 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 but they have to move, like, their sword up here to actually guarantee the Justeeni. But what I can do is I can have my giant up here, and then I can push their giant. I can force it in this direction. That is something I can do at least. Whether I just like hit a warrior to change the push direction or block tiles or whatever, and then their giant is trapped. So even though I don't necessarily get a Justeeni unless they play into it, which if they do, that's nice. But you know, they don't even siege though. So extra good for me. And I do have the unsiege. I have like a crazy amount of monuments. So yeah. I go for a wall. They have to try and break through, but it's just not going to happen. They go for the siege. I get an explorer rune, which is useless, but yeah, their Chinchi is just on like only 2 cities. They can get trade and stuff, but Chinchi markets are kind of notoriously slow. Forges alone don't give you much. But now I get the push, and perfect. Just according to plan, this giant is trapped. I'm going to be able to take it out, getting the rest of these forges down, and again, no construction. Kind of counter to the typical Zebasi game plan, but this isn't the same as like Hoodrick. This is how you have to use Zebasi to really optimize them. You can't just do the same thing every time. And I think that's definitely something I did wrong last time at the World Championships. Kind of just defaulted to the same sort of thing with Zebasi, but you have to adapt. I mean, again, I'm not really showing the games where I did go construction, which was quite a few, but I think these are the very noteworthy games. Like, if I had gone construction here, probably would not have gone so well. I'm able to spam some swords. Now going fishing to take over this side of the map. Things kind of continue. They've got the markets, but honestly, it's just not going to be enough. They don't have very good markets. Like, They have like some level 3s, and yeah, that's kind of it. They don't even have like good math because they got pop growth everywhere. So they just don't have good markets, and I'm gonna outspam them. I have way more cities. And I'm gonna be able to win no problem, using a lot of forges here in this case. So yeah, I still have one more game though. So I'll go ahead and cut to that. Alright, last game. This time, you can see it's against Quetzali. I was score counting, I assumed it was Hoodrick, so I played kind of according to that way, but again, the ability to adapt according to the matchups is very, very important for really just turn 0 tribes in general. And you can see, I start just going construction, very, very greedy. And this makes a lot of sense with what I have going. And I know I said like, oh, but I'm not gonna have like construction. You'll kind of see how things switch up a bit, because I will have to switch up. I can't just do what I normally do. I see the Quetzali terrain and I know the things are gonna have to change. I am like planning my market spots from this point. I have a general idea of where my markets want to be. I don't remember exactly the layout that I went with. I think it was something like, I'm trying to remember, like windmill, market, I believe. And then of course, market, windmill. I think this was it. Because these two windmills, it's going to be level 3 and 4 respectively. So both markets are level 7. So yeah, I think that was it. Those are really good markets. I can only hope I was planning that in the game. Trying to get good at quickly identifying the markets, because that's a skill you need with Zebasi. But yeah, gonna see see Quetzali, see the cloak. Not a surprise. They probably know that I went construction, so I have to pivot a little bit. So how do I deal with this cloak? There's a few things I need to do. I'm getting the level 3 though, which seems a little weird at first. It's gonna only help their cloak, but I'm gonna be able to get this other level 3. This economy is gonna be nice for the unit space with riding. And this is kind of where I pivot a bit. Because normally I would have loved to just get a giant uncap, because I can actually get it pretty easily. Like roads plus burn, or burn plus burn. Something like that. But instead, gonna be mostly relying on these riders, doing some nice combat here. And I put this rider here specifically. This is very important actually, because if we think about their cloak, where it went, it was on their capital, then it moved here, almost certainly, and then it either went here or here. But since I don't see the cloak icon here, I know that it must be here. So if I just block these tiles, I can't be infiltrated, and I'm doing just fine. And I don't really want to be getting a giant here. It's not going to help much. The eventual game plan, so I go like climbing. I can kind of take my time. I mostly want to go roads, and then I could just go straight for trade. Even with no giant here, this is still 2 level 6 markets that I can just get. And I'm grabbing this city. Doing very nice here. But I have to pivot a bit to riding instead of just going greedy. I could have spammed plenty of giants for sure, but they resigned kind of on the spot instead. Maybe they could have been trickier with the cloaks to at least prove that I can actually hold this. Because there's still ways I can mess this up. I think this was an early resignation. But in any case, playing around the cloak with this rider movement, very important. Like just subtle things like that, knowing when to change your plans a bit. Very important with Zebasi. I'm going to be trying to make sure I do this so I'm locked in with the World Championships. I'll also have to practice some mirror matches, most likely. But we'll see. Hopefully things go well. I'll probably have another update when I play even more games. Because I'm still like ongoing. I have a lot of games that I'm playing. But anyway, hope you guys enjoyed. Like and sub, and have a good one.